Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 9. We're over here in the wastelands and it's time for more building and more work around here. So just in behind me over there is the barrel forest that we got started on for the Smugglers run in the last episode. Now in between times I've gone and I've picked up a whole bunch of earthstone blocks, so we should have enough earthstone now to finish off the main structure of this build. Also between times, and if you follow me on Twitter, you probably have seen this already, I went through and picked up some blocks as well. Now, where are they? Here we go. A whole bunch of gravel blocks. So hopefully this will get us started here on this island. It is definitely not going to be enough to cover everything, but it might actually cover the big brown pad that we already have down, and that would be a great start. That would be a win as far as I'm concerned, if we could cover all of this stone that we've currently got, and maybe start building up some of the other mountains and things that I want going on around the place. So yeah, here we go. For those of you who didn't see it last time, this is the barrel forest that we created in the last episode. This is of course the part of the smuggler's den. Now I am thinking, or have been thinking, that I actually want to remove some of this stuff and try and do like a downed light fixture in here. So what I mean by that is I want to like take this out of here and place whatever light fixtures I'm putting up in the ceiling area. I'm going to place one of those on the floor and just kind of surround it in stone and gravel and dirt and things. So it actually makes it look like it's fallen out of the ceiling, and obviously we'll need a hole in the ceiling somewhere to make it look like the thing has actually fallen down and out of it. But I think for now what we need to do is go ahead and actually create the ceiling in this place first. That's definitely a good idea. Before we even start talking about what's fallen out of the ceiling, probably should actually have a ceiling to go ahead and use. Now, I'm not exactly sure where the ground level is going to be at here, so obviously this is the ground level for here. But that really doesn't matter too much because we can extend it up and out over this way, so we can actually make it higher, or as high as we need it to be to fit the ceiling in for this thing. So yeah, that's step one, is put a ceiling on this guy. Step two is to keep going with the rooms and things out here. We're going to have another little like living quarters out over this way, and then around the back, around the corner here, we're going to have another little storage space. And then we're going to go further down on through. It's going to be another room. I'm not quite sure what is in the other room yet. But then we're going to have an exit out through a cave system out the back. Now, the cave system is definitely not going to get done today. But the other two rooms, maybe. We'll have to see how we go after we have actually put the roof on this guy. Now, I'm thinking we might do a domed roof, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It may end up not looking all that great. So I might just do a flat roof with patches that have fallen out and broken and kind of, yeah, got a little decrepit over time. Because, of course, this is all supposed to be abandoned and not looking crash hot. So let's see what we can do about all of those things. So I've put the roof in place and I've just kind of come up to the start of this little adventure just so that we can have a quick look together at how this all looks. We'll come on down through here. We've got our little light source there. And bam! This place, I'm actually not sure about it. It looks huge. Like, it is just massive, and I'm not sure if that's really the idea I was actually going for. I did extend the height of the ceiling up maybe a little bit too far because I was a little worried that this barrel was going to be too close to the ceiling, but at the same time, there is just way too much room in here almost. Again, on top of that though, it is a kind of like a whoa moment where you like step around this corner and go, wow, okay, there's a lot of room in here. Was not expecting that. So we might end up leaving it in exactly as is, just because, yeah, I kind of, part of me is like, no, that's too big, and part of me is like, but it has the wow factor. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I mean, the other thing that I might do is kind of add some cobwebs and some stalagmites and things, and add some breaks in the roof and some rubble and stuff, just to kind of, yeah, change up that feeling a little bit. We might end up with a slightly smaller feeling roof, even though it's still kind of at the same height that it currently is. But yeah, the only other problem is that this thing is massive. So yeah, when we go through and do our gravelification of the surrounding area, that is going to have to be up pretty high. It's probably, I probably want a couple of layers between the actual topsoil here, or the top of the roof here, and the topsoil. We'll probably end up having it up about here somewhere. So we're gonna have to kind of like craft a mountain over top of this thing to actually make it feel okay, because it's the big thing is for me is the feel of the adventure. Yeah, and I don't really want to make it feel as though this thing is not actually under the ground. So we're going to leave it, like I said, we're going to build up that mountain as we get to that. But the sun is now going down, so I'm going to move on and start looking at the living quarters, which are going to kind of go, I'm not sure, probably this way, but maybe that way. Oh, sorry, maybe back that way is what I was trying to say there. Either way, it is going to be a case of the living quarters are going to be a thing that you can see and you can look at, but you don't necessarily have to go into. You could just continue on down the corridor and head on through to the next area. So anyway, let's go ahead and build those. So I couldn't decide where I wanted to have the little bedroom come off, so I've just kind of ignored the bedroom for the moment. We've walled all that off and created a new passage over this way, and this is going to be our kind of storage and shelving type area. So we're going to have lots of pots and pans and plates and various bits and pieces all over not only the walls, but I want to go down in rows as well. Kind of think about like a warehouse type shelving arrangement. So kind of, well, the idea, and I need to take off my boots because otherwise this is going to get quite messy for the next few minutes. So the idea is that we're going to have some form of warehouse type thing going on. Now I'm not sure exactly where the walls are going to need to be or where the shelving is going to be right now, but I'm just going to build up this wall. So this wall here is the outer limit of the world. We can't go any further than that. Once we hit this point, that's it. It's done. So this needs to be there. And so that kind of gives us a little bit of how the rest of this build is going to go. So we're going to leave, I think, a 2 wide gap, and then we're going to have a shelf. But behind each shelf, or to start each shelf off, I want to have these like pillar sections. So we kind of want to go, the idea is a little bit like this. So hopefully if I can get this okay, let's see if I can aim this correctly. There. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to try and go a little bit like that and that. I'm not sure how well this is going to go looking like a shelf. I may end up having to actually drop these down too. Might be the best way of doing this. Go one there and one down as well. So sorry, I just kind of decided to do this on camera, show you a little bit of my thinking process as I go through and try and build these shelves up. Now, I'm just going to quickly flick over to my blocks because we need to place some blocks down so that this actually looks kind of half decent. Oops, it's not where I wanted that one to go. Remove that guy out of there. And we will throw down some blocks in the right places. And then we can actually look at this guy as a shelf. So here we go. Bam, 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 bam. That actually doesn't look too bad. It is quite deep. But that is, of course, because I can't really fit anything between the shelves without the shelf taking up even more space than it already does. So now we're going to need at least a 1 block gap. So that's our 1 block gap there. And that would mean that we could actually add an extra set of shelves here and here. Now, if we're actually on the ground level, you know what, we could actually, I think we could get away with that. I think that's going to look okay. So that's kind of what we're going to aim for. We're going to go for shelves like that, and then we're going to leave a 2 block gap between shelves, and then have another 2 here, 2 block gap between shelves, and another 2 here, and then of course 2 block gap to the wall, which means that there gives us our wall placement of right there. Beautiful. That is exactly what I wanted to know. So obviously I've got some more shelves to craft up because this is not going to be enough shelves in any way, shape or form. And I actually want to extend this room out as well. And given that we're going 3 sets wide, I might make it 3 sets deep as well. Or maybe we'll go 4 sets deep. I'm not really sure right now. Obviously we're going to have enough room because I've made the ceiling high enough to fit in these shelves at the back here. So we should have plenty of room to go ahead and do this. Actually, I might also move these shelves a little closer this way. So maybe there and there there and there and there and there as the start of this place. So I think that'll be a good little blueprint idea, or a good little start idea for how this island is going to go, or this room is going to go. We'll fill this place out and actually add a little bit more walls to it, and then have a look at actually how it feels and how it's going as a room. Here we go. So I've been tinkering around a little bit, and I have placed in the bottom row of shelves you can see here, and I've also just kind of like thrown a few bits and pieces around just to see what this all looks like. So we're going to come back down in here into the barrel fortress. I'm going to walk through this a little bit. Now this might be a little bit dark to see on YouTube because I don't actually have any torches on me right now, but it's not too bad. And we'll come out through this way. For some reason there's a light here, and I don't really know what that's all about. Have to maybe stack some more blocks up there or something. And then yeah, here we go. This is our stacks of shelving, and I think that's kind of perfect. The length is feeling just about right. What I think we're going to end up doing here as well is throwing the door out through the back here, just about there, so that we're actually going to end up with a way out. And also this way out, of course, because it's all the way out the back here, it's going to be blocked by this row of shelving. So when you come all the way up here, we really shouldn't be able to see that too well. You can kind of just sort of get a glimpse of it, but that's perfect. Especially when there's a door down in the end there, you'll see that that will look pretty good. So here we go. This is the shelving coming along nicely. And I also like having these shelves just down here, because as you can see, like, you can actually see what's on them, whereas these guys, which are at head height, have the stuff sitting a lot higher up, and you kind of have to like look up to see what's actually there. So I think this is perfect for having everything just look like it's supposed to be there, I guess. So this is, yeah, looking good. We need to go through and craft a whole bunch more of these guys, stick them up in the top layer here, and start adding down some more stuff. I'm probably going to have to work out what I want to craft up, get some more pots and things going down around here as well. And then we'll look at crafting up the entrance, or the exits way out towards the cave. Obviously, once we've done all of that, we've still got a few bits and pieces to do, because we haven't done the bedroom yet. We also haven't done any doors or anything around here. So there's got to be a doorway that goes here. There's also going to be a doorway that starts our little entranceway into the barrel forest. So we'll have to see about all of those things. Probably another doorway in here as well. So lots and lots of doorways to go in. But this is going to kind of be a little bit more finishing touches to this build than anything else. Once we've got the main structure in place, we'll go back through and add all of the touches that we need to do. And a light source. We definitely need light sources in here, because this is a little bit dim and very, very massive. So I'm going to have to really think hard about what light sources are actually going to work in here to actually to give enough light to see what you're doing and not just be completely dark. Because of course, when we cover this over with gravel and all that kind of stuff, it is going to go very, very dark in these adventures or these locations without having any light sources in them. So lighting is going to be key on all of this stuff. Anyway, we're going to keep going, throw some more of these shelving things down, or we're just shelves really, and obviously put a little bit more stone down out this way, and we're probably going to have this just like come out and snake a little bit, and then just kind of like thin down to one wide and peter off into kind of a nothingy gap over here, which will then of course connect up to a cave that we'll build in a later episode, because we're definitely not going to get to that thing today. So anyway, let's keep going with the warehouse room here. There we go. All of the shelving is now in place, and this place is actually looking pretty good. So we're going to have to put a lid on this thing pretty soon. Of course, I kind of want to go through here with all of my little decor items and sort some stuff out before I do actually put a roof on this thing, because yeah, for a little while after I put a roof on this thing, it is going to be pretty dark in here, and it's going to be pretty hard to see exactly what's going on. So we're just going to scatter some stuff around the place. I don't have too many pots and pans, and I'm just trying to kind of keep them a little disorganized and random, as it were, spread out around here. Just once again, because it's not supposed to be neat and orderly. It's supposed to be kind of adventure-y and something you might just like stumble upon. So we're trying to spread some things out. I've got some more stuff over in the other chests, and we'll have to get all of that out as well. Oh, there does not appear to be the spoon bowl things over here. So there you go, beautiful. So we'll go over here. I've got a few other bits and pieces, and I also want to build some pots as well. Put some other kind of different decor items in there too. So we've got some eggs and bits and pieces, which we're probably going to use in a completely different wastelands. Once I've built this wastelands, I want to go through and do a secondary wastelands with another kind of internal structure and all that kind of stuff in it. Also, we've got a whole bunch of wall-mounted shields now, which is beautiful. I want to go through and use as many of those as I possibly can, especially around in this area here that we've actually built before, because that is, of course, a bandits camp. So I want to fill that up with these wall-mounted shield things. I also think that the hanging bone lamp might be the way to go in terms of lights. At least for the area that we're currently working in, might be the best option that we've got going on around here. I'm not really sure how that's going to work in the big area that we've got over there, the barrel storage area. Oh, come on, there we go. Gotta make sure I am flying before I just leap off the side of my build. Probably a good idea, huh? So if we just quickly flick one of these up into the ceiling, yeah, that's not great. That's really not great, because it doesn't really light up too far down to the ground. So we might have to sort out some form of hanging system, maybe even a. Oh, I know exactly what we're gonna do. We're doing a hanging system with Lumostone lights, and I think that's going to be the way we're going to do it. So we're going to do a hanging system in here with Lumostone lights and have them kind of flicker, almost fluoro style. That's, alright, I'm sold on that idea. That is exactly what we're going to do in here. Potentially not in this episode, because I don't really want to mess around with too much Lumostone stuff right now, but definitely in the future we're going to do some Lumostone lighting in here, because I love Lumostone lighting. It is the coolest stuff. So our shelves are now a lot more filled out, and I've also, as you can see, placed a roof on top of this guy. So it's all done and dusted. That's basically meaning that this thing is pretty well finished. Now, the coolest thing is, if we jump down in here, and I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on YouTube because it is quite dark. I might end up having to just brighten this image a little bit, so sorry if the quality gets a little poor. But yeah, if we have a look in here, this looks creepy as when it's completely dark in here. And then for some reason this back wall like gets some weird illumination type thing going on. So yeah, it's kind of creepy and weird in here, and I might even just leave it like that. Obviously, as I mentioned before, I had the idea of like flickering Lumo lights, and I still like that idea, and I think we might even do that, but I'm kind of thinking now that the time between flickers is going to be at different lengths for each of the things, and it's going to be kind of like just a really quick flash and a really quick little burst of light, and then you're going to be plunged back into darkness in here, because I think that's going to be really quite cool. So yeah, this side quest is coming along well. It is almost there. I think the final thing we need to do is obviously to put in the smugglers' sleeping quarters, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to go this way with now. And then once we've done that, this place is pretty much done for now, because we can't really finish it off until we have the cave system, and the cave system is going to have to, of course, start over here somewhere. Of course, once we've actually finished this off, once we've added in the little sleeping quarters, we are going to go through and start using up some of the gravel that I got in the last episode. Oh, well, between episodes, I should say. And we're going to go through and gravel the surface up here. Just add a little bit more gravel down. It's like the stuff I have is nowhere near enough for this, but it will kind of start giving this build a bit more of a together look, which is exactly what we want out of this thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and build up this guy so we can move on and add some gravel down. Okay, so here we go. I've actually got the room done. I'm also just going to quickly kind of explore this guy by torchlight, because it is kind of cool. Kind of wandering around here and having things kind of pop into your field of view as you kind of light them all up. Anyway, so the room is basically done. There's a few kind of small little details I want to finish on it. So obviously I was originally intending to maybe put it out that way or out that way, but I decided to kind of go halfway down the corridor. I don't know, just to separate things out a little bit, so you actually had to come down a little bit of the corridor before you got to this guy. But here we go, having a look inside. We can put this torch away now. You can see we've got a couple of nice hammocks over here. We've got some lighting up on the roof up there. And we have a table and a cross chair and another table of some description out over here as well. So this is basically it. I might end up coming back and putting a bookshelf or something, or maybe even like a set of barricades in here at some point. I'm not really too fussed about getting all of that stuff done now. I don't really have all of the stuff that I want or need to put a bookshelf or whatever it is up in the back here. So I'm going to call this place relatively done for now. It's looking pretty good. And of course we have the rest of the build as well, which looks really, really cool. So this has all come along quite nicely. We've got our nice little shelving section up through here, which, yeah, I think it's working pretty well. Like, it's come together better than I thought it was going to come together. So that is always a good start to a build like this. Anyway, now I'm going to go collect up a whole bunch of gravel and actually keep going with graveling this place. I added a little bit of extra gravel just over here as I was waiting for all of the stuff to craft up to make those hammocks, because those hammocks take forever to make. So we'll grab a lot more gravel out of here and keep going. Oh, and I need to put some spider webs up in that build, but maybe that will happen in the next episode when we go through and do all of the touching up that I want to do. Stuff like lighting and chests and just the little bits and pieces that make it more of an adventure than it currently is. Okay, so we've moved on to the gravel and placing down all the gravel, and so far it's actually going really, really well. Like, look at this place. It looks just awesome, and I really, really do like how cohesive all of this gravel makes this look. Now, I've so far burnt through, what's that, 8 stacks? Oh, wow, 8 stacks of gravel. And as you can see from the map, we kind of had like this piece and like that done last time, and now we've kind of extended all the way up over here, done a little bit over here, and done a little bit of extra over here. So I am actually tracking pretty well. I've got some more in the chest. I don't just have these extra 6 stacks. I think I've got a little bit more over in this other chest as well. So we're tracking pretty well, I think, to finish off the entire gravel pad over here. And then probably a little bit to, oh no, yep, no, there we go. We do still have a bit more in the chest here. Looks like we have another 14-ish stacks in the chest there. So we might just have enough to actually make the mountain range that covers over the entire Smugglers' Den area. But we're probably going to start running out at that point. Also, I am actually running out of time to record this video, so I'm thinking that a lot more of this graveling is going to have to happen kind of off camera between episodes, because yeah, there's not really a whole lot I can talk about or really many ways for me to make graveling this entire patch interesting for you guys. So I'm probably going to leave this episode here. I mean, once we actually start doing the kind of mountain ranges and the valleys and contouring the gravel around our like boneyard and the fractured tower and the Smuggler's Den and stuff, that's kind of the point where this will actually get interesting, and you guys might want to actually have a look at this type of stuff. But yeah, when I'm just like filling out giant swaths of land like I am right now, it is not the most interesting or entertaining stuff. So yeah, I'll probably, like I said, do this all between episodes now, and yeah, we'll call this the end of this episode. But yeah, over here, this guy is going amazingly well. The Smuggler's Den is just worked out so perfectly. I obviously can't get in through the top here unless I take out a block, but this thing, I really like the way this is, and yeah, I'm really keen to get the kind of haunted flickering style lights going on in here for the next episode. So obviously I need to go ahead and actually try that circuit out, build that circuit up, and once we have a working prototype of all of that, we'll get that going over in here and have that working and doing all of the awesome things that I want it to do. We'll almost give that place a bit of like a haunted mansion type feel, which should be really cool. Should be pretty interesting to see how all of that goes. So yeah, there we go. I am going to, like I said, leave this episode here. Hope you guys have enjoyed that one. I hope you guys like where the Smuggler's Den is going. If you have any ideas or any suggestions for things to go around here in the Wastelands, please let me know in the comments section down below. And I will see you in the next video.